of everyone, more so of chief executives, are being put to the test today. How do they have the courage to take decisions that have no precedence, or the humility to change the course of their actions if the desired results are not achieved? What about the innate capacity to adapt that some of them have demonstrated, or the humility to forego short-term business gains in favor of the safety of people? In this episode of the Future series, we discuss the future of leadership with Dr. Anand Agarwal, Group CEO of STL. Welcome to the show. Welcome to our third episode of the Future series. Today, we will talk about the future of leadership. This is an extremely important area, I think, because leadership traits which are developed during these times of adversity are going to hold us in good stead, both on the professional and personal front as we go along. So I'm keen to know your points of view on how you see leadership and what you've learned during these times.
Thank you, Joey, for having me once again. Absolutely. So typically, what we are seeing today is uncharted territories, a situation for which there is no defined playbook. In these territories, all of us as individuals, as human beings, as leaders, as parents, as family members, are taking decisions which are both coming in from collective thought process, both coming in from your basic intuition. And then you see what is right and then act accordingly. And you keep evolving along the path.
The current situation has led many leaders to talk about purpose, and this time they're talking about it genuinely and not just giving it lip service. STL has been extremely fortunate to be working in an area where, through its core business, it can impact millions of lives. And I know you are personally passionate about purpose. So, in your view, how can purpose become more core to leadership going forward?
I'm extremely glad that you started off with purpose, because that's something which truly keeps us all centered, which we make sure. So we have this beautiful purpose of transforming everyday living of millions of people by delivering smarter networks. And it applies across everything that we do, whether we are taking broadband to villages, whether we are connecting our soldiers at the line of control, whether we are creating educational facilities for municipal schools in Bombay, whether we are connecting slums in Johannesburg. It all ties in. It keeps us centered, it keeps us humble, making sure that the Chief Minister is able to reach his constituents in Gujarat, in the city of Kakinada, making sure that the information from the district magistrate was out in a city of Aurangabad, making sure that we converted our plants towards manufacturing sodium hypochlorite. The beautiful thing that is there about it is that people are taking those decisions themselves, because all they have to do is they have to imbibe that purpose in their heart. And with that imbibing, everybody in the company is a leader, everybody in the company is aligned to that purpose, which drives you, which excites you, and you act putting that in the common now.
When we look back at leadership traits during these times, we'll see that respect and empathy have emerged as the most critical traits, both on the personal and professional front. STL during these times defaulted to an employee plus model, wherein it put the safety of all people first, whether it be employees, customers, partners, contract workers, community. This is quite an evolution from the traditional traits of leadership. Going forward, how do you see a leadership style that prioritizes people first by design?
See, this is something that has started happening naturally. Everyone is a bit uncertain, a bit unsure, a bit scared, and there is a bit of fear about health, a fear about jobs, fear about continuity of the cash flow and the pay, all these issues. And without having really energized, you cannot do anything else on everything that you talk about. For all of us, it became very natural, making sure that all our team members are not having any extra degree of uncertainty, making sure that if there were employees in one part of the world who got stuck, we did everything to get them back to their home. If we found that some people they had some tragic incidents in their families, we did everything to bring them there. It's not only medical support, it's not only logistical support, it's medical, logistical, emotional, making sure that you are there 100% for them. Because, I mean, it just logically makes sense. And in these times, when you start actually realizing that whatever all in a normal time, what you speak about purpose, values, etc., which there is a bit of lip service to that. These times actually it gets tested. I come to know of stuff most of the times by just somebody writing or stuff of decisions which were taken across the teams. And that's when we see that whatever we talk about a core value of respect and ethics is actually happening.
STL is a large global diversified company with offices and plants in some of the worst impacted areas in the world, in China, in Italy, now of course Brazil and India. So in terms of ensuring keeping people first from a global context, what does it take for a leader?
Everybody is a human being. Similar sort of things actually impact all of us. So you're absolutely right that we have large teams based out in China, in India, in Italy, in UK, in Brazil, and other parts of the world, in Middle East, in Asia. And people are looking at similar kind of things. They are looking at a degree of genuine care. We got aware about the fact that this disease was sort of taking place in China in January itself, and got lots of information and data, which kind of helped us in being proactive in terms of our preparation for it. So we created a very strong business continuity planning team, a group of people, volunteers. You know that you are a part of that team. So people volunteered in terms of their extra time and making sure that everyone can do whatever they can do. And in some ways, some aspects of playbook started getting created from the experience in China, from Italy, India, and we started applying that to a holistic level, and we started improvising whatever was required for, say, a local domain. From a lockdown to now unlockdown is a new phase, and we are again improvising as we are going along. But the primary aspect continues to be the same, that we do everything that is required for the employees, for the extended ecosystem, then go towards customer, and then go towards the larger ecosystem. So you go inside out in such kind of scenarios rather than outside in.
We know that diversity brings better decision making. I mean diversity in terms of gender, in terms of viewpoints, backgrounds, educations, working styles. We saw proof points of this during these times. For instance, the Prime Minister of New Zealand won the hearts and minds of people worldwide through her respectful and decisive actions. The same can be said for leadership styles for Germany, Finland, and Taiwan. In the context of business, do you see more heterogeneity in leadership going forward?
Absolutely. The world is getting newer and newer every day, and the change will happen more and more faster. So whatever worked for us in the past, if we apply the same thing to the future, it is not going to work. We continually look for teams which have that capability to think differently and think laterally. In fact, we balance part expertise, part experience, part excitement, part humility. So we have people who would not know anything about the subject. So that humility of not knowing creates a sense of creativity, creates a sense of wanting to know. So we encourage the team which is diverse, which is not so much expert in the area, where there is always a curiosity element is always there. If we find that childlike curiosity is coming down, that's a very, very big warning for all of us, because there is nobody who's a know-it-all in the world today in the current scenario. And diversity of thoughts, capability of listening, being open to alternate ideas is extremely, extremely key for moving forward.
I really like that. I think it's a fantastic perspective. So when we speak of diversity, I see that as a gender plus model. So you've got sort of diversity of backgrounds, of education, of ways of working, and so on, which all help to bring various viewpoints to the table.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it has to be seen in that way. It has to be diversity of experience, diversity of geography, diversity of culture. That's what brings in the entire montage. When you have the all colors of the rainbow, then it actually becomes a unity.
Now my $1 million question. What does it feel to be like CEO at this time?
CEO title is a title. We all lead our own lives. So all of us are CEOs of our lives. And we start taking decisions for our lives every single day. And in a current environment, being a CEO of an entity called a company, take the right decisions for the people. You're balancing the important and urgent. You're focusing on the right priorities at the right point of time.
Thanks, Anand. I think we've had a very interesting and engaging conversation today. India is a very broad theme, and I'm sure a lot of people will be interested in listening to your views on this.
Sure. Thank you.